Welcome back for another Sign Chat where we talk with members of the Sign family about what's going on with them and what's going on with Sign. And today, I have somebody who doesn't need any introduction. You all know who he is, Dr. Louis Zirkle, the founder and president of Sign. Dr. Zirkle, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's a little bit different, but we got to get through it.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of a little bit different, like most of us, you're working from home these days. Does that change your daily routine or not? Or how does that affect you right now?
It does change the daily routine because of all these meetings I have to attend. But it does change a lot, and I think some good can come out of it because we are moving toward digital learning more and more. We want to be more effective. We realize the conference only has 150 people, and we want to reach more sign surgeons. I just finished reviewing the database, and I am really pleased with the skill of our sign surgeons.
Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned, reviewing cases from surgeons and things like that. What are some things that you're hearing and seeing from surgeons right now, how they're dealing with or preparing for the situations that they're in?
Well, the surgeons are adapting well, at least the ones that email. Some have contracted with a tailor to make masks. Some of them are making their own face shields. We're looking at ultraviolet light in the wound, mostly for bacteria. So the surgeons, I think, are adapting well. I've also noticed that some hospitals have a decrease in number of surgeries, and some hospitals have an increase because the people are still sustaining fractures, which need to be treated.
Mm-hmm. So is that like from the same communities you're seeing that? So hospitals are kind of coordinating together a little bit?
Not necessarily the same communities, but to a certain extent, some of the big cities, that's true. But most of all, it's hospitals in different areas of the same country.
Oh, okay. No, that's an interesting thing I wouldn't have thought of at this point. But also, you mentioned you touched on a little bit, but how is all this shifting the way we're communicating with surgeons and doing teaching?
Well, we're doing more digital now, and I think that's a very important aspect. And we're just learning it. I think we're all in a learning mode. We all need to learn how to express ourselves. We need to share our learning. I hope that our digital communication will serve as interconnection among sign surgeons. I know our IT department is developing a much better hub so it's easier to communicate. And I think we can gather the information of sign surgeons throughout the world and make this a very meaningful place to visit, especially if you have a surgery the next day, which is difficult. You can look it up and look at the ideas other surgeons have had.
Yeah, and in addition with that, just a new way with the signsurgery.org. So the site that has the sign database, we just had a big upgrade with that. And one of the things is helping you do your work. Has that helped kind of streamline your process a little bit and for the surgeons?
Yes, this has been a very good thing for me in terms of time constraints, but I think we can communicate better. So if we can take a little more time, this is streamlined enough that I don't have to go through a lot of the other aspects I used to have to. And now I think we can communicate better. But I will say that I hope the sign surgeons will tell us if they're benefiting from our new way we are looking at the database.
Yeah, just so for sign surgeons out there, if you're having an issue or if you like something, tell the program office the way we normally email back and forth
Yes,
to help us make sure we can continue to improve our processes and help you
yeah,
better with time.
I agree.
And to change gears a little bit, in light of the current situation, what's going on with the world, why is science mission important right now? Why is it important today?
Well, I think the world is under a lot of tension now
Hmm.
because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the patients in developing countries are hit even harder. They don't have the reserves financially to stay home. And actually, many people in the United States don't either.
Hmm.
And their public transportation many times has stopped. And so they still have to go to work. And they're crowding on motorcycles. We're seeing more accidents that way. And to have a fractured femur, let's say, and also be homebound and all the other tensions that go with it, I can really sympathize with these patients. And I'm very grateful to the sign surgeons that take care of them.
Yeah, it's just the ongoing nature of the work we do. It doesn't stop.
No,
Even when
you're
it
right.
feels like the rest of the world is stopping right now, that
Yeah.
part doesn't. So. Um, and speaking of not stopping, like, can you talk a little bit about kind of how Sign is able to still keep going, what we're able to do right now?
Sign is able to keep going from several aspects. One is the sign staff. Our staff is very dedicated. Many are working from home. We have very rigid precautions set up by Gene, and the machinists are still coming in. Shipping is still coming in, and quality control are still coming in, so we can continue to ship implants. If they couldn't come in, we would be stuck. And I'm very grateful to our staff, especially the staff that's coming in and working on the machines and shipping out and doing quality control.
Yeah, I mean, their work is so critical, and
Yeah,
it's great that they're able to continue. And yeah, that shipments are still getting out for surgeons in need.
they are. Yeah.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but is there anything else you'd like to share with sign surgeons or sign supporters right now?
Well, I want to stress the importance of good reporting. We are learning so much now because we're getting follow-ups. We're learning where the indications are for using our new plate. We're looking at more indications for using the fin now, and we're very pleased with these results. We have to have follow-up to know that our implants are working well, and we have to have follow-up to know when they don't work well, and we have to have follow-up to know to innovate new implants. So all of this kind of comes together with good reporting on the database. The other aspect is good communication back and forth, because many of our sign surgeons have great ideas. We'd like to capture those ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Diversity trumps ability, and our sign surgeons are very diverse, but they're very dedicated toward the best care for their patients. And I want to give tribute to the sign surgeons and the sign staff for their good work.
All right. Well, thanks so much for talking to us today. It's good to
Sure.
chat and catch up.
Sure.
Hopefully we'll be able to see, each other in the office soon, but also connect with the whole rest of the Sign family
Yes,
when it's appropriate to do so.
I agree.
So,
Okay.
anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for chatting
Okay.
with us today.
Thanks, Ryan. Bye.